Hello everybody, I am Angry Bird. Welcome back. We're having a new preview of a new Steel Division 2 division coming in Black Sunday. It is the Morskaya Gruppa Bakhtina. Hopefully I've pronounced that somewhat close to actually how it's pronounced. But yeah, looking forward to this one. They have a pretty cool badge and a cool picture, and hopefully you guys are looking forward to it as well. Remember, we are doing a giveaway in my Discord, so jump into the description, jump into the Discord, find the link, jump into the Discord and join the giveaway. I'm going to be giving away a free copy of Black Sunday on release day, which I understand is August 17th. So jump in and join that giveaway. Right, let's have a look at the Morskaya Gruppa Bakhtina. It was formed from the Black Sea Fleet Naval Brigades and infantry troops from the 46th Army. Named after its commander, this formation established two bridgeheads across the Dniester in the initial assault into Romania. That is just terribly pronounced. And held them successfully against all Axis attempts to dislodge them. The Morskaya Gruppa Bakhtina depends on the OSNAZ VMF, the Red Navy Commandos, and can count on off-map rocket support from MLRS ships. The old but capable planes from the Black Sea Fleet Air Force make up the air component of this division, fielding British Spitfire Mark 5s and MiG 3s. The Morskaya Gruppa Bakhtina fields experienced naval infantry backed up by powerful artillery, but lacks tanks and should tread carefully on the battlefield. So what are we expecting? Well, I'd like to take a look at that MLRS off map. British Spitfire Mark 5s. I'm from the UK, so you know I'm going to love them. And it looks like, so experienced naval infantry, so it looks like infantry division, powerful artillery, but very little tanks. That is what I'm expecting. Let's jump into the division. Wow, and they weren't wrong with the tanks. Just one slot and 2 cost points. Also, not many anti-air slots either. Realistically, you're probably choosing 2. But then it did say that, you know, it had Spitfires. It's possibly got some decent air assets, so maybe that can cover the lack of anti-air. Let's jump in and have a look. Okay, so I'm not going to focus on every unit because obviously we get a lot of units as well, and I will tend to give commentary from a 1v1 perspective more than a team game perspective. But you guys who play team games and 10v10s, I love those modes as well, but you guys will have better experience and be able to make your own minds up. So starting off, we have, wow, only C phase snipers locked to C phase. Interesting. Yeah, interesting, because normally you'd see those in A and B phase. I think people will still take them. I mean, you can get a lot of them in C phase, but it really does dull their exceptional ability on the battlefield. What else do we have? We have BA-10Ms. Oh, these are locked to B phase, but I have a feeling these will still get taken because you're not going to get a lot of tanks. These are an armoured vehicle, or somewhat armoured, but they still get that 45mm gun, which can be decent against, you know, very lightly armoured units. So it's still a good unit, and I think people will take it. We have OSNAZ Sappery. Finally, the OSNAZ are in the infantry tab. Or is this still me making a mistake? I know there was a lot of OSNAZ in the 9th Cab that were in the... Did I say that right? I meant finally the OSNAZ in the Recon tab, not in the infantry tab. That's what I'm meaning. Anyway, OSNAZ Sappery. You can get these in A phase. You only get 3, but they are, you know, decent. They have 4 PPS 43s. They have the TNTs. And if you remember right the way back to the start of this game, we used to get, oh, what were they called? Let's see. Do they have them in the infantry tab? Sappery PPSH. That was it. You used to get Sappery PPSH that had those frag shells, TNT grenades on them, and they just used to get spammed out in A phase just for that initial kind of TNT rush on the enemy rush. It was hilarious. It really was. So the OSNAZ Sapori, they aren't bad. Whereas the Sapori PPSH, because they took away the TNT, it kind of nobody uses them that much anymore. Probably Nilla might be the only one that still uses them, which shows how strong an early TNT rush can be. Which means these are decent units. We have the Morskaya Razvedka in a dock there. Wow, in a dock. Very interesting. I guess they are naval units, aren't they? So they can go amphibious, which is what this duck can do. We got 8 SVTs on them. Actually, this is a decent squad. This isn't a bad squad. 8 SVTs, strength of 12 with 4 close range. This is actually a really good squad, I think. You get 2 cards of them, and I would be interested in taking them. The problem is they're 30 points, whereas I think if these were in the infantry tab, they'd be, 25 points, which makes them a bit better. But you can supplement your infantry. Then again, is this going to be a one-trick pony kind of division where it's all like, if the infantry tab is already outstanding, are you going to need these guys? Here we have some A-phase snipers with the OSNAZ snipery. These are definitely going to get taken. They only have the 1 sniper though. Interesting, they have 3 PPS 43s and 1 sniper. It's kind of strange that they haven't got 2 and 2, but obviously that's how they operated. These guys are definitely going to get taken, 100%. You want those snipers in A phase for sure. We got Razvedka with the bazookas. These are locked to B and C phase, but bazookas are good. And actually, SVTs, they can stand up to some punishment as well. So I think a nice card for B phase to supplement some infantry with that AT capability. I don't know whether the infantry already has that, but I definitely think this is a worthwhile card. Then we have some OSNAZ VMF, and these have an SVT sniper, which is really nice. Yeah, it's a different sniper, an SVT sniper. Wow, let's just compare for a moment. So rounds a minute. Actually, so it's not semi-automatic. It is a standard sniper. It's just based on the SVT rifle, I guess. I might be making this completely up. You guys will correct me in the comments. I know you will. I know you will. But yeah, these guys are pretty cool as well. And they're a 6 strength squad. They have that MG42 to... Oh, actually, yeah, these are really good because they get the sniper at 1,000 meters and the MG42. So these guys are long-range behemoths. And then if they get caught out of position in close-range battle, they do have 4 PPS 43, so they can do a lot of damage at close range as well. These guys... Actually, these are really good. I like these. You get 2 cards of them as well. So making your mind up what to use. Actually, you could use a lot of units in this Recon tab. Obviously, not for Recon. I mean, but easily you could put a C-phase sniper card in. You could put the B-phase BA-10M. You could put the probably the A-phase Sapori. Could fit in a unit of these, although actually they're probably outclassed by the OSNAZ VMF. You probably want an A phase and a B phase card of those. So what's that? 2, 3, 4, 5, and then an A phase card of Sapori. That's 6, and then you could get the Razvedkas as well. I mean, you can fill up this Recon tab. Oh my god, I didn't even notice down here we have an SU-57. You're definitely going to want to take that. Because again, if they're lacking on tanks, this does give you a decent anti-tank gun. I mean, the 57mm, the M1 gun, is actually a pretty decent gun. 115 millimeters of penetration. It can take out T-34s. It can take out Shermans quite easily. It's going to struggle above that kind of level. But that's what is mostly in the game right now in 1v1. Let's jump into the infantry tab. I'm guessing this is where it's going to get really interesting. So we have those Sapori PPSH. We have Avtokom Roti. First kind of new unit we have is Cherny Bushlati. Cherny Bushlati. These guys are kind of like standard line infantry, aren't they, really? They're just standard line infantry, but they have the 9 SVTs and the PTRD, 30 men. I would want to take these in A phase to try and help utilize that PTRD. Once you get more into B and C phase, the kind of armor you're up against tends to be a little bit more heavy than the PTRD can take on. And those PTRDs are fantastic at destroying transport. So if you can get them out early in A phase, get a few transport kills, it can help you snowball. So we get 2 cards of those. We get some Morskaya Gruppa with the Thompson machine guns. They're going to be great at very close range. Thompson's, I think, one of the best submachine guns in the game, if not the best. We have some more Morskaya Bakhtina here. These have the squads on the smoke on the standard squads, so I think this is a decent unit. It's not over the top, but 20 points apiece, you know, 20-point line infantry is very strong, so they will be a decent unit. We have the OSNAZ. These have bazookas. I don't think these are going to get a look in this division, because they're just small strength squads. And although they're decent, I think there's probably too much other good infantry for you to take these OSNAZ. And in the Recon tab, you have the Razvedka in here that have the bazooka. So you can get those bazookas. It's not like you're relying on the OSNAZ for the bazooka alone. And we may even get some bazookas in the anti-tank tab. Who knows at this point? We get some OSNAZ Komroty. Again, these are close range, but the Morskaya Komroty is just going to be better. Although they have 1 less gun, I think that Thompson is probably going to be a lot better. But saying that, the OSNAZ Komroty have the radio, so sometimes not always a big thing with the Russians because their artillery often lacks radios. But actually, if you need a radio, the OSNAZ Komroty might be the one to pick. Ooh, what was I saying about the OSNAZ not being picked? We've got 4 cards of Strokey units, and Strokey are decent infantry. Oh wow, you can only pick them in C phase. These 4 cards of C phase infantry, anyone? This is going to be a big 10v10 infantry deck just because of those 4 C phase cards of Strokey infantry, for sure. The towns, the big cities in 10v10, watch out for the Morskaya Gruppa Bakhtina, because it is going to be strong. We got some Avtomachikis also in C phase. You get 24 of these. I mean, the C phase heavy cover. In 1v1 C phase infantry, I mean, this is just looking like more infantry spam, but because it's lacking that Sherman support compared to some of the other infantry kind of spam decks, I don't think this is going to see as much action in 1v1 as you'd probably first think looking at this deck. We also have the Morskaya Bakhtina DPs. These are great squads. 2 DP-28 machine guns. These are really good squads. Or at least that's what I'm thinking right now. We have the Morskaya Sappery, which are basically, you know, pioneer squads. They're strong, but they just can't get a look in, and I think that's down to the price. For 25 points, when you're facing off against 20-point infantry in the Strokey cards, this is more in the standard kind of game. In this division, I think they might get more of a look in because those Strokeys are locked to C phase. So you could see Morskaya Sappery being taken in A and B phase. We'll have to see how people build this deck. We also have the Morskaya Sturm, which I think is Sturmoviki. These guys, I think, are going to be strong. And actually, usually these are locked to like... Am I getting this wrong? Are these usually locked to 2 stars? So to see them as 6 and then 12, actually, this is really good. So the heavy forests are going to be, you know, fair game for this division. Then we have standard Sappery squads. Wow, very interesting. So you can get Morskaya Sappery, and then you can get standard Sappery. Wow, look at that Morskaya Sapri squad. I didn't actually concentrate on this, but it's 12 men. It has 6 PPSH and 6 Mosin Nagant, so it lacks the long-range DP machine gun. So definitely the standard Sapri, I think, is the unit to take if you're unsure about these two. The Morskaya Sapri, I would say, is much more suited to fighting in the heavy forests because it lacks that long-range DP-28, whereas the standard Sapri would be better in the cities because it can shoot out into the open ground. That's my perception. You get 3 cards of these. There's a lot of infantry in this deck. A lot of it. You're going to be struggling on infantry choices. We also get the, wow, we get the strokey DPs in here as well, but they are locked to C phase. We get the strokey SVT, which again is locked to C phase, but strokey SVTs are really, really strong squads because they get the 9 SVTs. We get Morskaya Avtomachiki, which have the Thompsons. These are going to be great early on in the heavy forest. So 6 of these very early on with those Thompsons. As long as they don't get taken out by Molotovs. But I think they're not too bad at standing up to Molotovs because they can still fire on the move with these submachine guns. We'll have to keep our eyes, but they are definitely very strong units. They are going to be in this deck for sure. We have the Morskaya Sapri Komroti, which I always find it interesting when it's a Sapri Komroti, but it has an anti-tank grenade and not a HE grenade. Always throws me off, that does. And then we have the 2 cards down here of Strafniki, which used to be really, 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 really good infantry units, but now in this meta that we're in 1v1, these aren't good anymore. They're too expensive. You can get 2 squads. Usually you can get 2 20-point squads, which, you know, will defeat 1 squad. At the moment, 2 squads beat 1 squad. That's the general rule. So Strafniki, they're just bad infantry right now because they just cost too much. They just cost too much. I mean, I used to call these out in every cast, you know, oh, these are beefy units, 20-man squads, Strafniki. Yeah, they're great. They just cost too much. They cost too much now. I'm not saying we need to price nerf these. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the other infantry units are either they're too cost efficient. So either the infantry combat needs to change, which Eugen are going to be doing, or something else needs to change. Anyway, off the soapbox we get into the tank tab. You're going to take it. I'm going to put it in now. I'm going to put it in now for you. 12 T-34 76s in B phase. Like, don't even think about vetting these. You want 12 of them. It's the only tanks you get. Moving on to the support tab, we get MKVDs. We get some nice amphibious supply, so you can resupply your amphibious units. What else do we get? We get a few Maxims. We get some 52Ps. These don't have the heat shells, so they aren't quite as good as the OB25s. Wow, we got a... oh, remember, guys, this is a early access version that I am currently recording on, so there are going to be odd things here and there that are going to get fixed up by Eugen by the time this releases. So yeah, the 52Ps, you're going to want to take them. Commanders, we have the combat, the WLA combat. We have the Bash 64, which is kind of cool. I don't know whether I've seen this as a combat before. Let's hope he doesn't sit on that. Oh, that's this seat there. Oh, I presume that's so he can sit there and then swing around. Yeah, because there's the driver lot. There's the driver. Oh, look, you can see a little steering wheel. How cool is that? Oh, it's a shame we can't actually... It's a shame you can't actually see through. So yeah, and then the commander obviously sits in the back, and that's probably like the radio set. That's probably like the radio set, and then that's probably like his maps. Oh no, is that the radio set? That's the radio set there, and then that's like his drawers with his map that he keeps his maps in and stuff. I don't know. Oh look, on that side, that's his little shelf. That's probably where his map goes. And then that's his drawer where he keeps his little pens so he can mark the map up. I don't know what the Russian is on the side. Maybe someone can translate that. And then right at the bottom, we have the Morskaya combat. I spent so much time looking at the Bash 64. No one's going to pick it. No one's going to pick it. You're all going to pick the Morskaya combat. Right, anti-tank tab. Yeah, some PTRS 41. I think these guys are going to get chosen in the WLA motorbikes. We got some VZ-VOD PTRs, which actually have a HE/SAP shell. Okay, so that is a HE grenade. For a moment, I was looking at it and it looked like it had the smoke icon. But that's a H. So it got a HE grenade and an AT grenade and 3 PTRD rifles. Wow. Have I not seen this unit before? This is kind of cool. So you can... Oh, you can't really rush it forwards. But you could take this kind of over some rivers in the duck and get them operating behind enemy lines. The PTRDs will take care of the transports. If the tanks come rolling by, the AT grenades will take care of them. And then if they dispatch some infantry to try and destroy you, you've got 4 PPS 43s and a HE grenade. Or 2. Actually, I really like this unit. Oh, they all locked to C phase though. Oh, what a shame. What a shame. But I really do like that unit. We get 2 M42 guns. Oh, they're locked to C phase. Don't tell me all the AT, apart from the PTRS, is going to be locked to C phase. We got some ZIS 3 guns that are locked to C phase, and we got some... Oh, the ZIS 2 guns are available. Wow. So your anti-tank capability... You may well want these, OSNAZ. Because you're kind of limited. You've got the T-34s in B phase. You've got the BA-10s in B phase. You've got the Su-57 in B phase. So you are limited to ZIS 2 guns in A phase and PTRS squads. And in whatever's on the infantry. So, oh, but you do get 3 cards of these. So I imagine people might take like 2 cards in A phase and then even a card in B phase. That's probably the most likely 1v1 kind of scenario. But you do get a lot of points. So you can then bring in maybe ZIS 3 gun in C phase if you really want. And then, you know, you've got your PTRS squads. You could fit them in just to take care of some light vehicles. Yeah, I mean, something like that might... It's not the end of the world, really. If those ZIS 2 guns were locked to C phase as well, that would be really harsh. So you do have some options there. ZIS 2 is a good AT gun. Okay, anti-air units. Oh, they are... Actually, I was about to say they are really in trouble, but they aren't. They've got the Zenart 37mm. Oh, but it's locked to B phase. It's locked to B and C phase. So will people take Maxims? Doubt it. I think people will take... maybe even just 1 B phase card of Zenarts and then rely on the Air Force. That's probably what I would try and do. Artillery, we get the VZ-VOD UPR. We get some F-22s that are all phasers. They said they had powerful artillery. I'm not really seeing powerful artillery right now. I am not seeing powerful artillery. Eugene, I'm not seeing powerful artillery. We get the F-22 76.2 mils. We get the 82 mil mortars. Get the WLA motorbikes. We get the artillery observer. This is the one with the BKA riverboat. 132 millimeter rockets. And unfortunately, I can't actually look at the stats of that. But will it be good? I mean, it's 90 points, which is cheap. Which is very cheap. It's amphibious. Interesting. Yeah, and the thing is, rocket artillery is not that great. I don't know what size the off the top of my head, I don't know what size rockets the Andrusha has. I'm pretty certain it's much bigger than 132 mil. I have a feeling these are basically Katyusha rockets, in which case they aren't going to destroy anything. You're probably going to... The thing is, though, off maps can get some pretty big kills, but I don't think these rockets are. I think these rockets are basically going to slow down an enemy attack, but they aren't going to decimate an enemy attack. That is my feeling at this point. I haven't used this vehicle yet. I have not used this vehicle yet. We get some 120mm mortars. I think this is what most people will use if you're looking for a bit more powerful artillery, which is what you just said we were going to get. And then we get the BA-64B KAO 118mm off map. Remember, it is a early access version, so they do have a work in progress tag there. So this looks like it's a 180mm off map. Oh, it's a railway gun from the looks of it. Very interesting. 180mm is decent, but not over the top. I have a feeling that most people will take, you know, an A phase card of the rocket artillery, a B phase card of the 180mm artillery, and you're just going to look to overwhelm them. And then you probably take, obviously, you'll be taking the VZ VODs, and you'll probably take some late phase 120mm, possibly. I don't know. Some people, like, if this is Lolly playing this game, that is probably what he's going to take. I predict, Lolly, if you're watching, I predict you will take an A phase card of GPA KO 132mm rocket artillery. You will take a B phase card of VZ VOD, and then you will take a B phase card of BA-64B KO 118mm off map artillery. That will be Lolly's deck. The artillery tab sorted. Let's have a look at the air tab, because the air tab sounded like it would be pretty decent, and actually A phase, they've got to do a lot of work. We get some MiG-3s, and I don't think I've seen this unit before. I don't think I've seen the MiG-3 before. It's a Recon plane, but it does have... No, it's air only. It is an air only Recon plane, but it can act as a fighter. I mean, 20 mils are decent. It's not over the top, but it's decent. Armament. It is medium agility and resilience bad, so it's not amazing. Why is that? That's a bit of a bug there. If we reselect, there we go. Yeah, I mean, 65 points, though, to cover you in the air when you're struggling for anti-air units. It's not too bad. Okay, let's move on. We've got the Spitfire Mark 5B, and I love this unit. I've got it in IL-2. I fly it in IL-2, and it is a beautiful, beautiful plane. And obviously I'm British, so I'm going to love the hell out of it, aren't I? Look at the skin. It's just so nice. I think it's like RAF kind of camouflage basis, and then with the Russian markings on it. Really nice. Really nice. It's got the 2 Hispanos and the 4 Brownings. I mean, this thing at 1 star in A phase, you've got 2 cards of it, and it's got excellent agility. So if you do micro your planes, if you are a plane microer, then you're going to like this plane. And I think you're probably going to want to take both cards, depending on what else we get. We do get some lag 3s. Wow, you can get 4 of them in A phase. Interesting. Yeah, really interesting. So you might even want to take those Spitfires in B phase. I mean, and get 2 cards of them. You do get a lot of... I do think you get quite a few fighter options in this deck. Well, I say that. You've basically got 3 choices. You've got the MiG-3, you've got the Spitfire, you've got the Lag-3. But they're all... You know, the Lag-3 is very forgiving in the number of units you can get. I think you're probably going to get a card in. Most people will probably do something like this. They'll take 2 Spitfires and a lag 3. They might even just take 1 Spitfire and then a card of lag 3. And that's probably what most people will sort of think about. Anyway, moving past the fighters, we get the A-20C Boston. This won't get used because the 50 kilogram HE bombs, they're just not good enough for people to use these. We get the Zhuchok, which wow, has a great skin on it. Love that skin. What a lovely skin. And I think actually this thing might get put in A phase as well. You only get 1 of these, whereas I think in 29th you get 2 in A phase. So you only get 1 Zhuchok, but I think that can supplement your Spitfires pretty well. It's great ground support. If you can protect this thing with your Spitfires, it will fly around all day long. You might actually wait until B phase or even C phase and do some late game ground attack strafing. If you can take down the enemy AA and you have established your own AA net, it's possible, but unlikely. I don't think people will do that. I think they'll possibly take 1 card in A. And then we have the Bostons with the 250 kilogram bombs. These are good. These are good. You get 1 in A or you get 4 in B. What? Eugene, 146? Like, why is that not 1, 2, 3? Or 1, 3, 5? Anyway. IL-2M3s. These have 2 250 kilogram bombs. You can get 3 of these in A phase. Oh my days. People are going to use this. It's perfect. It's very good resilience. So it's going to stand up to enemy AA, enemy fighter responses very well. It's got the perfect payload to take out enemy AT guns, enemy support guns, enemy HMGs. Perfect payload. So yeah, I can see that being taken 100%. We get the rocket version of that plane. Why do you get 1 rocket plane? Right, this baffles me sometimes. The way Eugene treat these planes. You get 1 rocket plane, 1 in A phase, and rockets are worse than 250 kilogram bombs, yet you get 3 of these in A phase for the same price. It baffles me. It's baffling. It's literally baffling. The only advantage the IL-2M3 has is it's slightly faster, but it doesn't matter because the IL-2 can stand up to so much punishment. It can fly as slow as you could. This thing could fly at 100 kilometers per hour and it would probably still get out alive. Why? Eugene, why? Why? Lag 3 series napalm plane, also 115 points. Maybe that will change between the versions. Maybe that will change. Who knows? This is still an early access version at this point. We have 2.5 kilogram napalm bombs. Will people use this? I'm not sure. Yeah, there you go. I'm not sure. We get some PE3 tank busters. Get 3 of those in A phase, and I think people will use those in A phase. You get some IL-2M3 cluster planes. These are probably your B and C phase anti-tank because they're more guaranteed to take out big tanks like IS-2s and King Tigers. And they are very resilient, so they can fly in later phases once the enemy's established that air-net, anti-air-net. And then we have more P3 tank buster planes, which is interesting. They cost more. They're bigger rockets. Wow, okay, very interesting. Maybe that's why PE3s are so bad. Maybe they all have these 82mm rockets like these ones, whereas this one here has 132mm rockets. yeah, really interesting. So this one is probably going to be a little bit better, but I still think you're going to want to rely on your cluster planes. You get 2 cards of these, so you can get a card in B and a card in C. That's pretty good. I think most people are going to want to fill most of this air tab. You probably might not want your 4-point card, but a lot of these planes are actually really very useful. So I think most people will fill the air tab. Right, defense. There we go. That's defense. Okay, so how do I think this deck is, or this division is going to play? I'm talking from a 1v1 perspective. I think it's going to be decent. It has a lot of infantry choices. It's very lacking in tank and vehicle support, but it does have that that card of 12 T-34s, which isn't the end of the world, and it does have, you know, ZIS-2 guns. I don't think this will be a good division against Sherman divisions and against T-34 spam divisions. So this division is not going to perform fantastic against things like the Canadians, things like the Polish infantry division. But it might stand up well against armored divisions, you know, German armored divisions, which, just because of the meta and the infantry, the way that the infantry meta is at the moment, and the fact that if you overwhelm the enemy with numbers of infantry, you're very likely to do very well right now. So yeah, I think this is a decent division. I don't think it's overpowered by any means. I think there is a lot of potential for this in 10v10 games as well, with the C-phase cards of Strokey and Strokey SVTs. I mean, could you imagine? Let's see how many you can get. This is going to be interesting. Oh, you can get Avtomachiki as well, can't you? Is this going to be one of those divisions? Okay, yeah, probably. I mean, there's probably some other units in there that can also go, you know, other units that can go C-phase. But what is that? I'm gonna have to get. It's around about 30 infantry units per card, so 30, 60, 90, 120, 150, 180, 210. Yeah, you're looking at over nearly 250 units of infantry if you built this as a C-phase infantry deck. 10v10 C-phase infantry only. Anyone? As long as your team can bring the infantry in A and B phase, then don't worry about C-phase. This division has got you covered. So will it be great in 1v1? It will be a reasonable pick, but it won't be overpowered. I think it can get countered fairly easily. So yeah, it's a decent division, but not over the top. What's my favorite unit? Do you know what I'm going to pick? I thought about it, and I really want to pick the VZ-VOD PTR. I don't know whether these are in a different division, and I've just not seen them before, but I really like the look of this unit. It's just such a shame that it is locked to C-phase, because I think if this was an A-phase unit, it would be amazing. It would be so cool to see these guys used behind enemy lines with the PTRDs, taking out those transports, you know, the AT grenades, taking out tanks behind enemy lines. You've got the HE grenades to deal with enemy infantry. It looks like such a great unit. So this is my favorite unit from the division. If you guessed halfway through that I was going to pick this unit, well done. Right, thanks very much for watching, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed this. Stay tuned to the channel. Make sure you subscribe for more of these previews coming up, and remember, go in the description, come into the Discord, join the giveaway. I am giving a free copy of Black Sunday DLC on release day, so yeah, make sure you join the giveaway. Thanks very much for watching. I am Angry Birds. I will see you next time.